A road trip around Oahu in 8 days? We recently returned from 9 nights and 8 days in Oahu, Hawaii, with one full, long day on the island of Hawaii, and definitely went through months of planning trying to determine what to see and do while there. I found that interviewing others that had visited was sort of pointless. I did gain great tips, mainly from former residents. As traveling through the eyes of a seasoned traveler and now a YouTuber, I was always keeping you, my audience, in mind. I am no expert on Hawaii and do not pretend to be a reliable guide to a trip to Hawaii, but I am looking forward to showing you where we went and a few insider tips. This was our 50th state and our first visit there. We stayed with friends in Oahu and did not have to deal with accommodations, rent cars, public transportation, or the typical mundane and costly issues that most people would need to plan for. My insight is simply to help you overcome the learning curve of visiting this, our 50th state. I will be doing specific videos on food, botanical gardens, military history, which includes a trip to Pearl Harbor and the National Cemetery of the Pacific, beach experiences, waterfalls, and demanding hikes. I learned a lot from this trip, and hopefully I can help you over some of the hurdles to make better use of your time there. This is not just like crossing over the state line from Texas to Oklahoma or Vermont to New Hampshire. Travel across America with me. Aloha, and welcome to this introductory video where I will be briefly identifying the places that we experienced, great drives, and what is a pillbox? There is so much to learn if you really want to experience Hawaii. I'll be covering Oahu and a day trip to the Big Island. I guess if you just want to sit on the beach, this video isn't for you. But if you want to learn something, I hope this introduction whets your appetite to visit the 50th state. Honolulu is located on the south side of the island of Oahu and is where we flew into from Phoenix. I had been told that this airport was open air. Well, sort of, but not completely. But you will feel like you walked across the island just to get to baggage claim. We arrived before sunset, but it was totally nighttime by the time we got in my buddy's van. She had bought me a lei made of orchids and plumerias. We will learn about the plumerias. The west side of the island is the leeward side, and we enjoyed 3 beaches over that way: Electric Beach at sunset and Makua Beach area at the southern sector of Kaena Point State Park for another sunset, and an easy end of the day at the north sector of Kaena Point, technically considered the North Shore. I'll be breaking down the geographic regions as we venture to each stop in future videos. I don't want to overwhelm but entertain and enlighten you. North Shore on the west side in the Waimea Valley is super crowded, and we spent most of our time sitting there in traffic. We did stop at a food truck landing to have lunch. That will be included on my video about the Islander foods. Most traveling away from Honolulu is on 2-lane highways. I like the Turtle Bay area of the North Shore a lot. This is where we found great hikes to a pillbox, a secluded beach, and beautiful foliage. And more food. We did 4 downright tourist things. Make that 5 or 6. But who's counting? There were probably more. Number 1 was Pearl Harbor, which is a must-do stop, and compelling to say the very least. Number 2 is Diamond Head State Monument. It is a gotta-do too, but this is a grueling hike, and you will want to watch that video for important information about visiting this state monument. You will see another pillbox at the top. I've mentioned pillbox a couple of times. I didn't understand what this meant when I was first researching hikes. Now I understand. Number 3 was the Dole Plantation. Friends who once lived in a suburb of Honolulu told me that this was a tourist trap. Well, yes, but I'm so glad that we went. It was gorgeous, and oh boy, the Dole Whip. More on this stop in the upcoming food video. Even though this isn't all about food, there's a maze and incredible gardens. Number 4 was Kualoa Ranch. Welcome to Jurassic Park. We did a special package, and that was a blast. I can't wait to share with you the Reggae ride to the farm and the Jurassic Park and movie tour site. Some tourist traps are well worth doing. I really struggled with the Hawaiian terms, and it took me 50 times to actually say Kualoa. We also stopped at the ever-popular Tropical Farms macadamia nuts and the Green World Coffee Farm. I guess that's technically 6. I might be snagging on some of the caramel glazed macadamia nuts as I'm making this video. We went to 3 tremendous botanical gardens, each very different. Wahiawa in central Oahu, Ho'omalahia in eastern Oahu, and Cocoa Crater Botanical Gardens near the "There's no way I'm doing that" hike called Cocoa Crater Hike. Certainly not after just doing Diamond Head. They are fabulous, and 2 are free. We also took a day trip on an island hopper to the Big Island. That was not enough time, even though we took one of the first flights out of Honolulu in the morning and caught the last flight out of Hilo that night. A lesson was learned on this adventure. We had an exhausting and rewarding day at the Hawaiian Volcanoes National Park and to one of the most geographically significant points in all of the United States. That one really made me happy. We spent a day in Honolulu proper to see the Capitol, historic buildings, and the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific, and 2 half days at Pearl Harbor. The latter 2 ones are phenomenal for many reasons, and I will attempt to do them justice in specific videos. At the encouragement of one of our guides at Kualoa Ranch and our host, we had to go to the swap meet. Where else can you get a t-shirt sewn wrong for $5? Another semi-grueling hike was to the Makupu'u Summit on the Makupu'u Lighthouse Trail in Waimanalo on the East Shore. A very historical hike affording amazing easterly views of the Pacific. As I mentioned, most traveling around the island of Oahu and all on the Big Island was on 2-lane highways, which made it especially time-consuming going from place to place, and there was a lot of construction projects, making things even worse. Interstate, well, not really. That's why these controlled access highways start with an H and not an I. Think about it. H1, H2, and H3 serve areas focusing on Honolulu and the bulk of Oahu's population. H3 is a quick scenic drive with vast, intense scenery and the best way to reach the Eastern Shore and North Shore. Farrington Highway, Pali Highway, and the Kamehameha Highway are a few of the scenic drives that must be driven. I'm still struggling with these names. We have 2 families that are friends that live on way opposite sides of Honolulu. It's taken them a while to get these names down, and they live there. So please grant me a little grace here. We experienced crazy places like Spitting Caves and Lai Point State Wayside on Oahu's northeastern shore. Both are mesmerizing with dramatic coastal views, but these can be dangerous. Warning! And I can't forget Valley of the Temples, which houses the Byoda-In Temple, a Japanese Buddhist temple. There is a fee. And on the northeast corner of the island, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has a huge Polynesian cultural complex and temple. At the cutie, Mokolii, a tiny island also known as Chinaman's Hat, is easily seen from Kualoa Point, directly across from the ranch and not far from the Mac Nut Place at Kualoa Regional Park. There is obviously so much more, but I just wanted to let you in on a few of the many sites we visited before we delve in deeper. Mahalo, sandals, flip-flops, and ugly shoes, and bare feet, on occasion, on the ground. Unclassic road trip. Please subscribe and tell a friend about my channel.